and welcome in to KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia here for the National Championship in Columbus, Ohio. Nationwide Arena is the site as the Stanford Cardinal will take on the Texas Longhorns for the title. Stanford's in the search for their 7th national championship all time, which would tie Penn State for most. Stanford currently has 6. They haven't won a title since 2004. They're 12 years off their last big victory and 8 years since their last appearance in 2008. Stanford is being led by 5th-year senior Inky Ajanaku, who in the last 3 games is playing out of her mind ridiculous, and she'll have to put together another great game if Stanford wants to bring home their 7th title. Texas got into this game by beating the number 1 seed in the tournament, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, a rematch of last year's championship game, and Texas did what Texas has gotten best at this season, hitting with accuracy. Texas finished the game against the Cornhuskers hitting .321. Heads up, sorry about that, there was a ball flying our way here at the announcer's booth, and the guy next to me had to hold him out of the way. But Texas this year hitting in the 300s and finished the 3rd set against Nebraska hitting .424. So this is an aggressive swinging team led by Ebony Wanabu. And Wanabu finished the game with 15 kills and only 1 hitting error. The difference, the Stanford block. If the Card want to win this one, they're going to have to show up big at the net. Stanford in their last 2 games have recorded 18 blocks in each game, being led by Ajanaku and Fitzmaurice at the net. Ajanaku now in sole possession of 3rd place on the all-time Cardinal blocking list. Had 9 to go with 15 kills in the game on Thursday. Stanford is the tallest team in the nation, and they also are the youngest team to ever make it to the Final Four and are now the youngest team to ever play in a national championship game. The Cardinal, with 12 of their 16 players on the roster being underclassmen. It speaks volumes to how great this team is going to be for the future. And for the younger freshmen, the top recruiting class in the nation, this is going to be a game where it's going to be a glimpse of what the Cardinal can do for the future. And I think with the leadership that they've been able to get with Inky Ajanaku and Kelsey Humphreys in their last season has really propelled this team to new and better heights. Obviously, this game is going to come down to the Cardinal block. And in the 1st and 2nd and 4th sets, the Cardinal dominated the block early. They failed to do so in the 3rd, and that was the set that Minnesota won. When the Stanford block is on, it does more than just beat into the opponent's heart. What it does is it changes all the shots out on the court for the other team. When Ajanaku and Lutz can go up strong, or Fitzmaurice and Lutz, you've got so much size going up big on the block that it's extremely hard to contend with. And after you get stuffed a couple times, you want to start searching for other shots. The issue is the Cardinal, with such a good block, can cover the rest of the court, thus resulting in a big digging percentage. The Cardinal had 80 digs through 4 sets in the game against Minnesota. The Longhorns have a little bit of a smaller block, but they also result in a lot of digging. Through 3 sets, they had 50 in their win against Nebraska. The Cornhuskers were searching for a 2nd straight national championship. They came up a little bit short. They were really looking discombobulated, and Texas took advantage with their smart hitting, led by Micaiah White and Ebony Wanabu. And they also got big play from their setter, Chloe Collins. The lefty gives a lot of teams issues as she's so good at the net. She's a little bit of a smaller setter at 5'7". She's not as big on the block, but she's an extremely good passer. The good thing that the Cardinal have rolling for them is that Collins is a little bit of a slower setter, meaning she doesn't go for the quick sets up the middle. This is a Texas team that relies on their outside hitting in Micaiah White and in Ebony Wanabu. With the ball taking longer to get there, the Card can adjust their block and hopefully get into better position to field some of these big swings from the big pins of the Longhorns. We're about a few minutes away from first serve here in the national championship game, live on KZSU 90.1 FM. Stanford will be in their road blacks. That's the same uniforms they were wearing for the big 5-set comeback against the Wisconsin Badgers out in Madison, as the Card will look to knock off their third straight ranked opponent in a row. They knocked off number 3 Wisconsin, number 2 Minnesota, and are now looking to knock off the 4 seed in Texas. Stanford in the tournament, the number 6 seed, and we can expect going forward that this team is going to jump in the AVCA pools and the RPI pools just with the way their youth is set up. The big power conference teams, Minnesota, Nebraska, they're going to lose a lot of their big name players, while the Pac-12 is going to keep a lot of their youngsters, which should be interesting going forward. It was the big talk all season. Would we see a Big Ten national championship game? A lot of people had Nebraska and Minnesota meeting in the championship game, and for good reason. Those were two of some of the strongest teams in the country all season. But at the end of the day, it came down to the Big 12 and a Pac-12 team. It's worth noting that neither one of these teams were conference winners. So both teams finished number 2. And with that being said, we're going to take it out to the national anthem here on KZSU. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening.
Oh, say, can you see by dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose but stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was the national championship national anthem presented to you live here on KZSU 90.1 FM. Teams are just about ready to be introduced out on the court. Stanford in their road black uniforms with cardinal colored lettering and trim. The Longhorns in their home whites, as they are considered the higher seed, which they are. And both teams playing in front of the biggest crowd that they've seen all season, as the Nationwide Arena is basically sold out. Lower section, there's no seats to be found. Up on the top level, there might be one or two that we can see, but it is packed. There was a lot of Nebraska red here on Thursday as they were trying to go for that repeat and go for 2 straight. They're fans of the Big Red Nation, as they call themselves, for the Cornhuskers. Actually said that they were going to come out and support a lot of the Stanford Cardinal team. we had the chance to catch up with some fans of the Cornhuskers at the hotel that I was staying at, and they all said the same thing, and it was not that they necessarily want Stanford or have them as their favorite, but they were so upset that their team wasn't playing and that they lost to Texas that they're willing to root against Texas and cheer on the Stanford team. The Cardinal have a very large fan section here today, while Texas has one behind their bench as well. It is packed in here. Teams are being announced. The Cardinal are going to be announced first. The bench was just honored, and here comes the starters. Freshman setter Jenna Gray. National Freshman of the Year Catherine Plummer at 6'6". She's a force to be reckoned with. The Cardinals start 4 freshmen, which is nearly unheard of. Inky Ajanaku, the redshirt 5th-year senior, the difference maker in this game. If she plays well, the Cardinal have a great chance of winning a national championship. It's going to come down to how she elevates her team, as she is one of the sole leaders of this young squad. Adriana Fitzmaurice, the #1 recruit in the nation as well at 6'6". The Card have a dominant blocking force at the net. Morgan Hentz, the libero, will be starting as well. It was funny, they had an interview with head coach John Dunning, as both of these teams got caught in neutral at points this season. The Cardinals struggled when outside hitter Haley Hodson went out with a lower body injury, and 2 weeks later her replacement Michaela Keefe went out with an injury herself. The Card were looking for an offensive player on the outside when Morgan Hentz actually stepped up and said that she would play the position of outside hitter. If you ever get a chance to watch Morgan Hentz hit, she's got incredible power for such a small frame at 5'9". Morgan actually played outside hitter all throughout high school, and so she was fully prepared to step into the position. Head coach John Dunning thought that he might risk injury to his great libero only in her freshman season, and he thought that she was too valuable to put out there. So Catherine Plummer had to take over the position, kind of learn it from the get-go. She really had never had any experience playing the back line and has now had to learn how to pass the volleyball and hit in different spots on the court. And her development has led to her being the National Freshman Player of the Year. She's a dominant force when she's on, and even when she's down, she's still a force to be reckoned with. The play of Catherine Plummer, though, so when she plays good, the Cardinal team plays good. And what I mean by that is when she hits poorly, the Cardinal team is kind of down. Her last 2 games have not been her best. In the game against Wisconsin, she finished with 12 kills, only 4 hitting errors, but she was really struggling attacking. In the game against Minnesota, it was a little bit of a different story. She finished with 15 kills with 10 hitting errors, and those 10 hitting errors so crucial to her, and they really hurt the team as far as what they could do offensively, because Plummer was just getting stuffed. For the Longhorns, Makaya White, Ebony Wanabu, Kat McCoy, Yasmin Bedart Hani out there with the setter, Chloe Collins, Paulina Prieto Sorame, the outside hitter, and number 12, Morgan Johnson. This is a battle of 2 teams with a lot of size, and it should be a big defensive battle. Which team will prevail? We'll see. Stanford comes into this game on a 9-game win streak. They've won 15 of their last 16 games, while the Texas Longhorns have won 8 in a row. Both of these teams super hot. And when Texas loses, they struggle serving the volleyball. Stanford, one of the best road teams in the nation this season, at 14-2 away from Maples Pavilion this season. 11-2 true away record with a 3-0 neutral. As fans are on their feet and we're ready to get under action here in the national championship game. Live on KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. The Cardinal are going to be serving. They're in front of us for the first set. We're opposite the players' bench. and are on the outskirts of the out back line. Jenna Gray will be serving. The Cardinal going to be starting in their true tall small. So Fitzmaurice won't start. She comes out of the game for Hentz right away. Those two substitute. And the Cardinal are going to get going in their best lineup possible. The tall small with a Joniku Lutz Plummer up front at the net. Gray, Hentz, and Holland McKenna on the back line. Gray will be serving from the near middle part of the court. And the national championship is underway. Collins is going to set on the outside. Hentz able to dig, overpass. Dug out by McCoy. Collins outside. A roll shot dug out by Gray. Hentz bump set near side to Plummer. Ripping it down, dug out by the back line. They're going to set on the outside for Sarame. She mishits it, and the Cardinal get the first point of the national championship game off of a hitting error. Some fans of the Gophers behind us here. They were here for the game on Thursday. They said they're rooting for Stanford. Love to hear it. Gray back to serve. Sends it just long. Service error. The Cardinal have been so consistent serving this season, and as of late have been dominant from the service line. And Chloe Collins, the setter, will go back to serve far middle part of the court. Sends a good one down here. Gray. Up the middle goes to Joniku, dug out. Sarame going to hit it over. Hentz able to dig. The block was in place. Joust at the net. Tipped over. Covered by Collins. Wannabu. Dug out by Hentz. Gray will push near side for Lutz. Swinging it down and ripping it off the line. Getting the kill. Stanford up 2-1 here. Both of these teams with so much on the line. This is the national championship. The Longhorns are going for their third in program history, where the Card are going for a record-tying seventh. Plummer back to serve, near right corner. Puts a good one down here. Collins. That's McCoy out to set it for Wannabu off the block. She gets the kill as Hentz was a little bit far forward, and the kill went on the back line. This is going to come down to a big game between Ebony Wannabu and Inkia Joniku at the net. Those two are going to be jousting all night long, 2-2 here in the first. It's best of 5 playing to 25. The serve is a good one. Hentz with a good dig. Gray from the back line sets it near side for Vonyak. Roll shot dug out by Collins. McCoy's going to set on the outside for McKay White. Off the block, Gray able to dig it out. Hentz will bump set near side to Vonyak, who just checks in. Dug out. Collins bringing it to Wannabu. Hentz unable to dig. Point to the Longhorns off the tip. Roundsonville now in the game for the Longhorns, going back to serve. It's 3-2 from the far right corner. Sends it long, service error. We've already seen one from each team now so far, and it's going to be the nerves getting to these teams here early on. And it's kind of a difference between the two squads, as Texas was here last year and the Cardinal with their 6 young freshmen, and Hentz sends it into the net. Service error. It's going to be a long night if the Cardinal keeps serving like this. Hentz finished the game against Florida State with 5 service aces. That was their Sweet 16 matchup. And McCoy going back to serve. Plummer with a good dig. Gray will set on the outside for Lutz. Blocks there, dug out by Collins. McCoy will bump set it to Wannabu near side. Roll shot dug out by Vonyak. Gray will set near side for Vonyak. That was Lutz. Gray digs it. Hentz. Vonyak hits into the block. Johnson and Wannabu combined to stuff her on the near side. 5-3 for the Longhorns here in the first. Stanford was good at getting the block into the game early. Let's see if they can get it to go here on the offensive side. Plummer for Gray, out to Lutz, ripping it down. McCoy able to dig. Collins out to McKay wide, stuffed. Vonyak able to dig. Gray will push it on the outside for Lutz, and she's stuffed by Johnson and White. We said it was going to be a defensive battle, and right now Texas is showing up on the block. McCoy dominating the service line. Cardinal trying to get the side out. McCoy, far left corner. Plummer with a good dig. Gray, Fitzmaurice up the middle. And she gets the kill there. Kelsey Humphrey checking in. It's 6-4 early on in the first. Stanford and Minnesota exchanged a lot of little runs through the first 15 points of the first 4 sets that were played on Thursday. Humphries in the game to serve, puts a good one down here. White, Collins, Wanaboo, and Wanaboo able to get it to go on the swing near side. Wanaboo already 3 of 5. She's got 3 kills, all 3 of Texas's kills so far. They're up 7-4. She'll go back to serve. From the far left corner, Plummer with a strong dig. Gray with a dump, gets the kill to go. 7-5. Ajanaku's up and fired up. Vonyak comes out. Holland McKenna going in to serve. This is a very young team for the Cardinal. 4 freshmen, 1 sophomore, and the senior Kelsey Humphries. Holland McKenna serving from the near right corner. The sophomore sends a good one down here. Collins for Johnson, ripping it down off the short slide. 8-5. So far, Texas not hitting like they usually do. 250. And McKay White will go back to serve. Far middle part of the court. High serve, low spin. Gray for Plummer. And she hits it. Near side, point to Texas. It's 9-5. Head coach John Dunning going to call a timeout here early on as the Cardinal are a little bit out of sync. They've already got 3 kills on 3 hitting errors on 14 swings, while Texas has 4 kills, only 1 hitting error, and 2 blocks. Stanford also has 1 more service error, and you can tell right now in the first there's a lot of nerves going on the court, and you can see it in the way that they're playing. Stanford making some little errors here early on. Moretta Lutz has 1 kill on 4 swings already. She's been trying to get going. Had a rough last couple of games. In the game against Minnesota, she finished with 9 kills but 6 hitting errors. And right now, Texas is rolling on all aspects of the game and in all facets. So if the Cardinal can come out of this break down by 4 and just close the gap a little bit, they should be in good position to get back into the first set. Once again, it's a best of 3. You play to 25, and you have to win each set by 2. Wanaboo with 3 kills, and Johnson has 1 off the big slide. Collins has 3 assists. Both teams with 7 digs so far. So it's been the blocking and the service errors on Stanford that's got them into this deficit. The blocks on Texas, or from Texas. And already Johnson has 2. She's their leading blocker this season. Wanaboo not too far behind. This is a strong hitting team for Texas. Large players out on the court, and they are a force to be reckoned with. This young freshman core of the Cardinal looking to really prove everyone wrong and make an upset for the century. McKay White back to serve. Timeout over, and teams are back out on the court. She'll be starting from the far middle part of the court. Number 1 in white. Throws it up and botches the service error. And that's the risky run with that big power serve. Ajanaku back in the game. It's 9-6. The Cardinal can most definitely get a big run defensively with no blocks so far. Look for it to come through big here as Fitzmaurice goes back to serve. Near middle part of the court. Puts a good one down here, McCoy. Collins outside to Sarame, and she's blocked down by Ajanaku and Gray. Look for Inky to have a big game tonight if the Cardinal want to win. As we said, this is a hard-hitting team in Texas. Sarame with a big swing on the outside. 9-7 Longhorns. Fitzmaurice with another good serve. Sarame. Collins back out to Sarame. McKenna able to dig. Humphries will bump set. Plummer. Roll shot. Able to find the court. 1-point game. A good serve really helps the block get in place as it throws the whole offense of the other team out of position. 9-8. Fitzmaurice back to serve. The Cardinals starting to settle into their game. This is a good chance to attack with Wanaboo on the bench. Fitzmaurice starting from the same part of the court. Puts a good one down here. Dalton Collins with a dump. Dug out. Gray gets a hand on it, but it goes out of bounds as Humphries and Gray got the 1 and 2 touch on that last ball. before it sails over the announcer's booth on this far side, 10-8. And back to serve, Morgan Johnson. McKenna with a good dig. Gray with a dump, gets the kill. That was a clever play from Jenna Gray as she'll go back to serve in the Carter in their true tall small as Humphreys comes out of the game for Moretta Lutz. 10-9, this is by far one of the best offensive and defensive units for the Cardinal. All around, this is the unit they want in the game. Jenna Gray back to serve, near middle part of the court. The freshman setter puts a good one down here, Sarame. Collins out to back for Sarame, hits it. Tied game at 10. Already the block coming in play. Texas with 3 hitting errors. They finished the game against Nebraska with 8. The block coming up big. Gray back to serve, same part of the court. This is a good time for the Cardinal to score with Wannabu on the bench. Gray puts another good one down here. Dalton. Collins from the back line goes McKay White. And she's able to get the kill there from the back line. 11-10 Longhorns. We're expecting a very competitive game from both squads with so much riding on this one game, playing in front of a sold-out nationwide arena. Chloe Collins back to serve. The lefty just gets it. She misses. It's a service error as it looked like it may just creep over the tape. This is a very tall unit for Texas right now. Tough to call them a tall unit with the Cardinals' size. But Yasmin Bedart-Hani is out there with Ebony Wandabu, both 6'4" players, and go big at the net. Plummer with a good serve down here. Sarame. Collins. Up the middle goes Bedart-Hani, and she's able to rip it down up the middle. 12-11 Longhorns. While the size is a little bit similar, Texas is a tad bit smaller overall, but they hit a lot harder. Rousensville into serve. Plummer. Gray out to a Joniku off the slide. Gets the kill to go. 12-12. Morgan Hentz will come back to serve. You can just tell right now the Cardinals freshmen are starting to work out their kinks and finding their rhythm. Hentz puts a good serve down here. McCoy. Collins out to Wannabu. She's stuffed by Fitzmaurice. Overpass. Lutz tips it down. 13-12. Card take the lead. Great court awareness by Moretta Lutz, and now the bench is fired up. Hentz serving from the near left corner. Roundsonville. Collins from the back line will set. White. Point to the Cardinal off of a double hit. They go up to 14-12. The bench is into it. The Card fan section is into it. Jared Elliott, head coach of the Longhorns, will take his first time out here. We'll take our first here on KZSU. This is the National Championship being presented to you. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nikki Sullivan with KZSU Sports. Like what you're hearing and want to ask for more? Have a question about KZSU Sports or a suggestion for improvement? Let us know. You can send an email to sports@kzsu.stanford.edu or contact us via our Facebook page, KZSU Sports. You can also always give us a call at 650-723-9010. So send us an email, let us know via Facebook, or give us a call at 650-723-9010. We always love hearing from you. And now let's get back to the action and go Card!
Back here on KZSU 90.1 FM, I'm Jimmy Garcia here in Columbus, Ohio for the national championship game. The Cardinal are up here in the first, 14-12. They were down 9-5 before putting on a nice run defensively, and the Cardinal have started to dig the ball a lot better. Hence will go back to serve as we're getting back to action. The 5'9" libero from the near left corner, waiting on the whistle from the referee. Kicks a couple dribbles, approaches the line and sends a good one down here. McCoy for Collins. Comes near side, Wannabu, roll shot, dug out by hands, good cover. Gray will bring it for Vonyak. Off the block, McCoy able to dig. Collins for Wannabu with a big rip. Fitzmaurice able to block. Bedard Hani, Hintz gets a hand on it. Pushover, Lutz, dug out by Collins. And the point's going to go to Texas off of a net violation on the Cardinal. Great save by Hintz. And then she had a beautiful cover right there. It's 14-13. What a fabulous play. Showing the all-out effort to go. McCoy back to serve, far left corner. Plummer with a good dig. Gray, Fitzmaurice, roll shot, Collins digs it out. Rounds him off to set for White. The block's there, Hintz able to dig. They're going to say that she hit the court, though, on the swing. And we're tied up at 14 all. Texas now hitting .217, 8 kills on 3 errors, 23 swings overall. McCoy serving again. Plummer with a bad dig. Hintz has to bump set. Vonyak's going to 3-ball it over. Wannabu for Collins. Back out to Wannabu. Blocked by Vonyak, but it goes out of bounds. And now the Texas Longhorns go up 1 after being down 2. All tooled by the smart play of Ebony Wannabu while she can rip it down. She's also got that great roll shot, and McCoy's been controlling the service line. Hintz with a good dig. Gray out to Lutz. Big swing. Card get the point. For Stanford, it really comes down to their ability to serve errorless, and they've already got 2 here tonight. And to block, they only have 1 so far. This is the best blocking unit in terms of blocks per set. White struggles off the serve. Collins for Wannabu. And Humphreys is unable to dig it as her dig attempt falls out of bounds off of Plummer as it actually went into her 16-15 Longhorns. Wannabu already with 5 kills on 10 swings, hitting .500. Tough to slow her down in a game of this magnitude. She'll be back to serve, far left corner. Picking on Plummer. Gray will bump set. Fitzmaurice dug out from the back line. McCoy will set it out to White. Hintz able to dig clean. Gray will set near side for Vonyak. Big swing. And they're going to say she missed it. Point to Texas, 17-15. Head coach John Dunning have to talk to his unit. As we said, this game is a matter of inches and errors. The Cardinal playing kind of out of rhythm right now as Hintz puts a good dig down. Gray will set out to Fitzmaurice. Big swing. Dug out from the back line. Over to White. Off the block. Plummer able to dig. Gray will set from the back line going. Plummer off the block. Wannabu able to dig. Collins will set White. Blocks there. Pushed back down. Collins. Hintz able to dig. Gray will set Vonyak. On the left side. Off the block. Overpass. Play at the net. Jousted over. Card recover. Gray will slide for Fitzmaurice. Hintz able to dig. Gray, Vonyak, dug out from Roundsonville. Collins is going to set White on the outside. Big swing, and she gets the kill. The long rally going to Texas, and now they're up 3, 18-15. Ajanaku waiting to get back in. Very quiet so far for the Card. Timeout's going to be taken as Stanford's down by 3. We're going to take our timeout here on KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. And we'll be right back.
For over 2 decades, our beloved Cardinal have dominated the collegiate athletics landscape. From Pac-12 conference matchups to bowl games and NCAA tournaments, KZSU's been right there with them like family. Stanford Athletics is a family you too can join and support. The Buck Cardinal Club was started in 1934, and it still continues to this day to support over 900 student athletes. By joining the Buck Cardinal Club, you can help them on and off the field and throughout the Stanford community. To find out more about the Buck Cardinal Club, go to buckcardinal.com. Your gift will help our athletes as we take on championships, bowl games, tournaments, and more. Thank you, and go Stanford!
back here on KZSU 90.1 FM. The Carter down 18-15 as the Longhorns are starting to play their Texas style of volleyball. They're up to 11 kills on 30 swings, hitting 267. Only 3 hitting errors, and those have all come from Paulina Prieto-Sarame. Wannabu 5 kills on 10 errorless swings. White has 3 kills, no errors. And the card block has been a little out of position so far. They only have 1 right now, and they've had 18 their last 2 games. Wannabu back to serve out of the timeout. Plummer with a bad dig. Gray out to Vonyak. Able to get it to go on the outside. 2-point game. Holland McKenna coming in the game for Ivana Vonyak, and we'll go back to serve. Vonyak has struggled at times this season swinging. She's got 10 attempts already and only 2 kills with 2 errors. And McKenna back to serve. Near right corner, puts a good one down here. Collins will set. White, hence able to dig off the net. Gray will push it to Plummer, ripping it down. Catherine Plummer makes it a 1-point game. The AVCA National Freshman Player of the Year brings her team within 1. McKenna serving again from the same spot. Puts another good one down. Collins has to bump set out to White. Blocks there, but she hits straight through it as Gray and Fitzmaurice couldn't get that one. Ajanaku ready to sub in. It's 19-17. As the set dwindles down, can the Card make a run to win the first? McKay White back to serve. Sends it into the net. 2 service errors for her. 1-point game as Ajanaku comes back in the game. And Fitzmaurice goes back to serve. McKay White tosses it way in the air and gets a big, high spinning ball down. Tough to dig, but also with a lot of chances for error. Fitzmaurice puts a good one down. Collins has to set outside to Sarame. Fitzmaurice gets a dig. Gray will set to Plummer. Off the block. Humphrey's able to dig. Good cover. Gray back to Plummer. Roll shot dug out by Dalton. Collins pushes it over. McKenna with a strong dig. Gray, slide. Ajanaku. Miss hits. Oh, they're going to give her the point. Tied up at 19. I thought she may have missed it. Texas thought she didn't get it to go. Tied up at 19. Fitzmaurice goes back to serve. Near left corner. Good one down Dalton. Collins out to Sarame. Blocked down by Ajanaku, saved. Back out for Sarame. Blocked down by Gray. Jenna Gray with a solo block on the outside. Gives the Card a 1-point lead. Timeout taken by the Longhorns as the Card go back up 1. The defense coming up big. We're going to keep it here for this timeout break, but the presence of Inky Ajanaku threw off Sarame. And then Jenna Gray just sized up one of the best hitters in the nation and threw it back down at her. What a great play from the freshman setter. Already has 2 blocks in the game. Stanford now hitting 176, 11 kills on 34 swings, 5 errors. As Texas has 12 kills, 36 swings, and 4 errors. As we mentioned, this is one of the best hitting teams in the nation. And Stanford right now trying to go up big on the block. They had 6 or 5 in the first set against Minnesota and 6 in the second. They only have 2 so far, but you can see how it's starting to play in as Prieto-Sarame is trying to hit around the block left and right instead of trying to go straight through it like Makaya White and Ebony Wannabu have. And Wannabu has been a little bit quiet, and look for her to come back in the game. The Cardinals are doing a nice job of not giving Texas a side out, which would get Ebony back in the game. Wannabu, a transfer from USC, was National Freshman Player of the Year in 2013. She was unable to play in the national championship game last season due to injury. So both teams getting some of their best players back. And the freshmen starting to play a lot better right now. Fitzmaurice will go back to serve. The 6'6" freshman national recruit, national top recruit, serving from the near middle part of the court. Puts another good one down here. Collins will set for Johnson. Humphrey's able to dig, overpass Sarame. Collins will bump set back out to Prieto-Sarame. Holland McKenna unable to dig it as it goes out of bounds, tied up at 20 now. Morgan Johnson going to go back to serve, 20-20. It's Joniku with Plummer. Lutz waiting to come back in. Johnson sends it long, service error. Here comes Moretta Lutz at 6'8". It's 21-20. Can the Card pick up a second point to push it? You got to win by 2, so you can't go 25-24. You can go 25-23, 26-24, or play extras. Jenna Gray back to serve near right corner. The young freshman setter sends a good one down here. Sarame. Collins back out to Prieto. Sarame hits into the block. Lutz and Joniku. Roof on the outside. Card up 2. The bench is fired up. The fan section's fired up. We're fired up here at the announcer's booth. Gray back to serve. The upperclassmen doing it with defense. Gray with another good serve. Collins out from the back line goes wide. Hentz able to dig. Gray. Joniku rips it up the middle. 3-point lead. Inky got about 1.5 feet above the net on that one and just ripped it down. Inky Joniku with 3 kills now. Gray back to serve. Sends a good one down here, McCoy. Collins outside to Sarame. Off the block, Plummer able to dig. Good cover. On the other side it goes, McCoy. Back out for Sarame. Hicks able to dig. Gray sets up Plummer. Roll shot dug out by White. Collins for Veterani. Getting the kill up the middle as Joniku's block falls out of bounds. 23-21. Big defense right now from the Card. It's evident how good they're playing, and kind of those first set nerves look like they're gone already. Collins back to serve. Wanabu back in the game. Puts a good one down here. Plummer. Gray. Joniku roll shot. Gets the kill. Set point here in the first. Can Stanford take the 1-set lead here in the best of 5 national championship? Plummer will go back to serve. Vonyak in the game for Holland McKenna. Serving coach Tyler Taylor gives Plummer a few instructions before setting this one down. 24-21. McCoy. Collins. Near side to Sarame. Stopped by Vonyak. And the Card are 2 sets away from winning the national championship. Stanford finishes with 4 blocks above their average on the season, and what we've come to expect from this team. They win it 25-21. We'll be right back after a few short messages. There's a 3-minute break in between the first and second set. We'll take a break here. I'm Jimmy Garcia. You're listening to KZSU 90.1 FM. We'll be right back. Card win the first, 2 sets away from their 7th national championship.